Something that's never really sat right with me in the Bible
Well, hopefully I can help with this.
is when the holy ones rose after Jesus' crucifixion.
Oh, that's a fascinating one. That's Matthew 27:51 through 53.
Supposedly, the crucifixion is one of the most, if not the most, important event in Christian history.
I'm kind of confused as why you're saying it's supposedly one of the most, because it literally is. Whether or not you agree that it actually happened, that's where you should put your supposedly. That Jesus' supposed resurrection. Because it is a fact that it is the most pivotal event in all of what Christians believe. So I think you're putting your supposed in the wrong place, my friend.
Because a man, Jesus,
Because God, Jesus,
rose from the dead after being unjustly tortured to death.
decided to do what needed to be done to bring about salvation for everyone. But at least you acknowledge he was unjustly crucified. That's good.
But when you look at Matthew 27, verses 52 through 53, it says multiple people also rose from the dead and appeared to many.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Here is the verse verbatim. The tombs also were opened, and many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised. And coming out of the tombs after his resurrection, they went into the holy city and appeared to many.
And notice what it said. After his resurrection. After Jesus's resurrection. That's an important point you need to hold on to.
How can an entire religion be built on one resurrection, while a verse about many people doing the exact same thing is just ignored, just set aside by pretty much everyone?
Because if a king comes to town, you're not going to focus on his servants. Jesus and a bunch of people rose from the dead, and none of them were seen until the resurrection. That's why I pointed it out in that passage. They didn't appear to anyone until his resurrection. So his resurrection was so important that who cares about everybody else? Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that Matthew was believed to have been written first. And yes, while there are a lot of things that other gospels record as well, there was no need to have to do it. Matthew had already been circulated everywhere at that point. So if I'm writing the biography of someone's life, and so is someone else, if I already know what they wrote, I'm not going to copy everything they wrote. I'm going to write my own opinion on things. And while some of our stories may be the same, there's also going to be different ones in there. So Matthew mentioned it, the other three didn't have to. Would you rather it not have been mentioned at all?
The only explanation is that this verse is just wrong.
Yeah, no bias there. The only one that is plausible is the one that makes the Bible wrong. I just gave you one, buddy. You might want to consider it.
Someone made it up just to make the story more dramatic.
Or you're just choosing not to believe it because it gives you a gotcha on some Christians. Let's face it, Christians are not the most educated on what they actually believe. That's true.
And if that's not the case, then Christians should be worshiping and praising those people just as much as Jesus.
No, because Jesus is God, and they are not.
And if it really did happen, if dozens of holy people came back from the dead and walked into the city, why didn't anyone else write it down?
So, to recap, because they didn't have to. Matthew is argued to have been written first, even before Mark. So, if it was already written, there was no need to talk about it all over again. And yes, I know that there are many stories that do line up that are very close to each other in multiple Gospels. But each author was still writing what they wanted to write, and Matthew would have circulated everywhere by then. But there's also the intent to think about too. To the point you made, might distract people from Jesus. They might want to worship those people. So, hey, let's not talk about it. It's already been mentioned once. Let's focus on the one who was resurrected that actually matters to the rest of us.
Why didn't any of the other Gospels mention it? If we get to just pick and choose which verses to believe and which to ignore, how can we trust any of it?
Exactly. So let's believe all of it.